are actually the second largest antelope that we have. Now to your right hand side, this beautiful brown animal with the zebra-like legs will be known as the okapi. Now these guys probably look like they're related to the zebra, but that right there is the only known relative to the giraffe family. Actually, before discovering them back in about 1901, they were believed to be only a mythological creature here in Africa known as the African unicorn. Now, as we do make our way around this watering hole coming up here to your left, you're going to notice a lot of these in the forest, and actually throughout the reserve, they're actually going to have a lot of them out there. It's a great gathering place for a lot of different animal species. Now, to your right, I do notice a couple yellow-billed storks hanging out on the side top of this hill. Now, usually this is black rhino territory, so you definitely want to keep those eyes open. Oh yeah, all the way up there to the very back. Now, there's actually two of them up there. One's actually laying down there, one's standing up. You see black rhinos, they're pretty unstoppable beasts here in the forest, charging at about 35 miles an hour with having about 3,000 pound weight to them, fully grown. Now, the only known threat that they have to be aware of today are poachers, because over the years, unfortunately, they have been hunting them down, leaving only about 4,200 of them left in our entire world.
Tell the camera.
Now to your right hand side, on top of the hill, the very back tree is a little hard to see. There are going to be a couple copper-striped animals. Those right there are going to be known as bongo. Bongo are rarely ever seen getting the nickname ghosts of the forest here, so actually having them that close to the forest front like that is actually pretty cool today. Now, before making our way out of the forest, over here to your left, you're going to notice two black and white feather birds hanging out. These are actually our saddle-billed storks in Africa. They are the tall stork with a wingspan that reaches anywhere from about 8 to 9 feet in length. Right now we are making our way out of the forest and of course moving on to the Safi River. Now the Safi is actually going to make home to one of my favorite animals that likes to migrate right on through using our river systems here in the reserve. Now go ahead and get ready to look right on over here to your right hand side. Oh yeah, right down there to your right, there's actually two hippos right there in the water. You see that? Now, a hippo is a nocturnal animal. It will only come out of the water at night to eat about 150 pounds of vegetation, and actually will remain most of its day within its water to keep its massive body cool. You see, hippos have been on the way anywhere from about 3,000 to 5,000 pounds fully grown. Now, believe it or not, the hippo will actually beat out the cheetah and lion for the title of the most dangerous animal we have here in all of Africa. And you're going to notice a bunch of them coming up right on over here to your left-hand side, right behind that watering hole. Now, on top of that, the black and white feather birds here will be known as the white-breasted cormorant, and the pelicans all on the shoreline will be called the pink-fat pelicans. Now, also to your left, you guys are going to get a really great view of a couple of these hippos right on over here. They're all sleeping together.
That's Gloria. Wow,
Now, a hippo cannot travel any more than 3 miles away from any waterbed. That's because its massive body cannot be actually supported by its tiny little legs. You see, hippos, while they are in the water, can control their own buoyancy, either floating and swimming at the top, or either sinking to the bottom while they hold their breath, anywhere from about 5 to 8 minutes. Now, in just a moment as we cross this bridge, I'm going to ask that for your safety you remain in your seats because below there's actually going to be a very menacing predator right here on the reserve. And that's actually going to be our Nile crocodile. I'd like to gather up right here at the end of the Safi River. Growing at about 20 feet, these guys are much more aggressive than the American alligator you're probably more familiar with. You see, they have about 1,200 pound jaw-biting force per square inch of their prey, making them one predator you really don't ever want to run into, judging because that jaw-biting force can shatter bone instantly.
That video is going to make us sick when we watch it.
Just you, dear. Not the boys, right, Ryder?
Alright, now we're going to be heading on into Savannah this time. Actually, later today, we are going to be making our way over to the right place with some, whatever, ground controls here. They actually told us that there are going to be a couple of elephants hanging out over there earlier this morning, so I think we'll get a great chance to see that in just a minute. But actually, coming up over here to your right-hand side, standing up is going to be the African baobab tree. You're going to see a lot of these on the reserve. Now, they are not a dead tree. That tree actually goes leafless like that for about 9 months out of its year. It actually does get the nickname the upside-down tree because to some people, it looks just a little bit reversed there. And At this moment here, we are going to be heading on to one of my favorite views here. And actually, if you take a look over here to your left, you're going to have one great outlook onto the Serengeti grasslands right here in East Africa. The Serengeti will actually stretch for over hundreds of miles, and every year make its home to millions of migrating animals that will pass on through. Call it the animal superhighway, if you will. Now, actually, coming over here to your right-hand side, you guys are going to get a great chance to see some of the most magnificent animals that will pass right on through. And actually, for a couple up-close views for some great pictures. These animals will be known as the reticulated giraffes. Average, they are going to be about 6 feet tall, as you can see the two little ones over there to your right, while they grow up to about 18 to 20 feet high by the time they do reach adulthood. Now, if you look at their tongues, they're actually going to be a dark shade of blue and will grow about 13 inches in length. That's actually the age of the top leaves in the trees. And look at the name reticulated, of course, from the Latin word reticulata, describing the nut-like pattern on their skin. You see, the term giraffe is actually an Arabic one, meaning one who will walk with grace.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Now let's do this, guys. We're going to have a great view of a bunch of giraffes out here. This is going to be an